We know that our Texas City ISD community has a lot of questions on the reopening of school. Many of those questions have been addressed and the answers are on our website, but we want to address additional questions tonight regarding curriculum and instruction, nutrition, and transportation. So this is just our first town hall. We plan to have more, and we'll have different topics at those, and we'll announce those when we announce the dates. Topics might include special education, sanitation, and health protocols. So we're going to go ahead and get started tonight. Hello, I'm Melissa Tortorisi, Director of Communications for Texas City ISD. I'd like to introduce you to our panel that's here this evening. First, we have Dr. Melissa Duarte, Superintendent of Schools, Susan Myers, Deputy Superintendent, John Vandiver, Director of Nutrition Services, Dr. Terry Birchfield, Assistant Superintendent of Support Services.
Good evening. I'm Melissa Duarte, Texas City ISD Superintendent. We are excited to have the opportunity to share the work we have been doing to prepare for the upcoming school year. It is important to us that we provide clear communication and expectations to our community and staff. Providing a safe school environment along with strong instruction is a critical component to the work we have been doing. We look forward to answering your questions and providing clarification. Welcome to our town hall.
Dr. Duarte, please tell us when school is going to start and how we're going to begin.
Well, that certainly is an important question. Our traditional calendar had stated that we would start instruction this year on August 13th. Our school board, in response to everything that's been going on across the nation, has moved our start date to August 24th. That would be the first day of instruction for our students. What our board also approved is that the first 3 weeks of instruction will be virtual for all students. Now, the state has provided an opportunity for us to provide 8 weeks of virtual instruction, but our goal is to complete that in 3 weeks and allow our students to return to school in a hybrid model for face-to-face instruction beginning September 14th. Now, parents will have up until August 10th to determine if they will receive face-to-face instruction beginning in September or if they will continue virtual for the full 6 weeks' time. Students will remain in that instructional setting for the first 6 weeks of school. Prior to the 6 weeks, 2 weeks prior, parents may opt to change that instructional setting for their students.
So in the last couple of months, we have had to completely change the way that we deliver instruction. Normally, if you were going to completely change an educational model, it would take 1.5 to 2 years to research, plan, and implement. But school districts right now do not have the luxury of that time. So tell us, Dr. Duarte, about the different challenges that the district has faced regarding the plan to reopen school.
Districts across the state of Texas have dealt with many challenges in preparing for the start of the school year. One of the biggest components is collaborating with a lot of our officials. We have received guidance from our Commissioner of Education, we've received guidance from our governor, and we've received guidance from our local health authorities. One of the challenges is the guidance does not always align, and they tend to change week by week. And so the districts have to be responsive to those changes and make those adjustments very quickly in order to start school timely and provide instruction for our students. We also have a focus on meeting the instructional needs of our students while ensuring safety for our staff and students. And that's really critical for us in Texas City. We've also been dealing with questions such as how would we social distance at athletic events or different functions. And again, we're all about providing those opportunities for our students, but we have to have procedures and processes in place to ensure the safety of our students. We've received some clarification and recommendations from the Galveston County Health Authority. and the district is exploring those recommendations to ensure that we provide the necessary support for our schools. But not only that, there are 4 very clear areas that we need to make sure we have in place. We have to provide notice to our parents. So we have our website up with documents posted for parents and staff. We are also providing these town hall meetings to answer some questions that we are receiving. We need to make sure that we have prevention measures in place so that we can prevent the virus from entering our schools. We have to respond if there is a concern or a case that we're dealing with on a campus, as well as putting in some mitigating measures so that we can reduce the likeliness of spreading the virus.
So considering all of those challenges and mandates and recommendations, Sam Myers and her curriculum instruction department has been putting plans in place for how to deliver instruction. Sam, one of the main questions that people have right now, or they want to compare what the virtual classes were like in the spring to how it's going to look this fall.
Well, I think, Missy, it's important to remember that in the spring, we were really operating under an emergency situation. We had to turn around our curriculum really quickly and go from face-to-face instruction to virtual learning within a week's time. One of the things that we did was we took existing lessons and we just applied them to our learning management system, Canvas, and asked our parents to go in and navigate that system. While we're proud of the resources we had and the lessons provided, we relied heavily on parents to help not only direct teach their children, but to interpret the content. This fall, what parents will see when they open Canvas is a total reorganization of the platform. The students will see lessons organized by content areas, reading, math, science, social studies, and each of those content areas will contain the lessons specific to that subject matters. Our teachers will be focusing on making direct teach time with their students, either with synchronous learning, which means students will be logging on in real time with teachers to watch lessons, or asynchronous learning, which means students will have opportunities to view videos or to do independent practice during specific times of the day. Students will be given schedules to follow throughout the day with opportunities to work at a regular school day pace. Our hope is that these first 3 weeks of school transition easily for the students who will return to our campus on September 14th for face-to-face instruction, and also lend itself to an easy transition for those students who are choosing to go virtual for the remainder of the school year.
So you said that everyone is going to start off virtually for the first 3 weeks. So what does that look like for students and teachers?
For teachers, it's going to be a matter of lessons that they've been working on and preparing all summer and presenting them virtually versus face-to-face. So they will follow the same school day schedule that they would have followed or will be following when the students return on September 14th. The curriculum will be laid out in a manner that will be subject-specific and time designated, which means each student will be given a time schedule for when each subject will be taught. It'll be a combination of asynchronous instruction, which means that the students will go on, log on, and receive independent practice opportunities and also video lessons, and also synchronous learning, which again requires that students log on and in real time receive that instruction from their teachers. We know how important that direct instructional time is for students and for teachers, especially at the beginning of the school year. So we'll be relying heavily on that synchronous instruction to start building those relationships between students and teachers.
So all of our public interactions have changed during the pandemic. So, you know, you go to the grocery store, you have to wear a mask. You go out to eat, you have to wear a mask while you go in. So there's a different feel to that when you're out in public. So Sam, tell us how how, it's going to be a different feel when they come into the school. So can you tell us a little bit about what that's going to be like?
I think it's really important to remember that the goals of our schools haven't changed. Whether we're starting in 2020 with 3 weeks of remote instruction and transitioning into face-to-face, once our students arrive in our schools, we'll be looking to provide safe and secure and warm and inviting learning environments for all of our students. It's just going to look different. And you're right, Missy, it will feel different too. But I think the important thing to remember is that our kiddos have been living in the COVID world with all of us for the last 6 months, and they understand what's going on. So I think it's important that we take the time to teach them the expectations. We always talk about in education that the first couple of weeks of instruction, you need to practice what you want. You need to teach students exactly what your expectations are for them. So I think it's going to be really important for us to be giving our students a lot of the why we're doing things, then showing them exactly how we want them to do it, and allowing them opportunities to practice. And that's going to be different things. For all of our students, it's going to be reminders that it's so important to wear your face mask at all times. That's an expectation that is statewide and nationally recognized as maybe the single most important aspect of keeping yourself and others safe. So we want students to understand the importance, not only for themselves, but to their friends and for their teachers, of wearing those face shields. We also want students to understand the importance of keeping their hands clean, that it's important that we teach, especially our younger kids, the appropriate way to wash their hands and the appropriate way to use hand sanitizers, which will be available in all of our classrooms. We're going to work with our kids the appropriate way to walk down the hall. We've always done that in elementary schools. This year, there'll just be more distance between each child. And for our high school students who we think don't know how to walk down the halls in individual or in straight lines, we know they know how to do that because at one time in their lives, they were expected to do that. So I think it's important that we teach our secondary students just why we're doing it. The whole purpose of what we're asking them to do when it comes to our health and safety protocol is to keep them safe and to keep them in school with the ability to learn directly from their teachers and to also have the opportunity to have more socialization with their friends. We want our schools to be inviting places, in learning places. We want, the most important thing is that students are focused on the instruction each day. And yes, desks are going to be further apart, but the good news is there's going to be less students in those classrooms, allowing teachers more individual time with students. So it's going to look different because our world is different, but in very many ways it'll be the same. Teachers will still be there wanting and waiting to receive their students, and the kids will finally be back in our classes, and we will celebrate that.
Students really flourish when they are in school and have access to extracurricular activities. So Dr. Duarte, can you tell us about how our athletics and fine arts programs are going to work when we return to school?
So the district is currently following all UIL guidelines as well as CDC guidelines through the Texas Education Agency. We have put procedures in place to allow students and staff to offer summer programs. We currently have football, volleyball, and fine arts activities in session. Our goal is to provide students every opportunity they can to participate in extracurricular activities. They may be through virtual instruction or face-to-face. We will continue, as long as it is safe, to provide these extracurricular face-to-face opportunities for our students.
Like Sam Myers and her curriculum instruction department, John Vandiver and the nutrition services department has not missed a beat. They have continued to work, even when our children did not return, they continued to work. Nutrition services has been feeding our children since after spring break. So, John, people want to know, how is it going to work when the if their children are learning virtually, like everyone will be learning virtually for the first 3 weeks, and a lot of kids will stay home after, how will we still be able to feed those kids who are learning virtually?
Yes, absolutely. We'll be providing breakfast and lunch at all campuses with a curbside grab and go.
And when students return to school, will breakfast and lunch still be available to all those children come in face to face?
Absolutely. Breakfast will be grab and go served from carts at school entrances or other strategic locations. Lunches will be packaged in disposable to-go containers, and my department's been working closely with principals to ensure our student and staff safety for lunch.
Now, I know you guys would love it if everybody bought school lunch, but a lot of kids like to bring their own lunch. Can they still bring their own lunch from home?
Yes, they can bring their own lunch. However, there will be no fast food deliveries allowed.
So, John, there's a federal program that is allowing a food allotment for families, and most of our students qualify for that program. And they've recently extended the PEBT benefit. Can you tell our parents about that benefit and how they can get the food benefit?
Yes, the the pandemic electronic benefit transfer is a one-time food benefit. It has been extended until August 21st. It is for children who receive SNAP food benefits in March, and also for students who were on free or reduced lunch meals last year. And you can go to our website for more information.
So transportation, we have buses and provide it to anyone who needs the transportation. However, in order for us to properly social distance, we're really asking families if they can possibly get their children to school themselves to do so. Terry, can you explain a little bit about why we're in that position and asking that of our families?
Transportation's goal is just the same as everyone else's, to make sure that students arrive safely and stay healthy while they're on the buses. If you have the ability to transport your own children, we're asking that you do that, because the fewer students that we transport, the more able we are to socially distance them on the buses.
So Terry, what is it going to look like for a student riding the bus?
Well, we have a lot of protocols that have been developed by Leo Bradley, our Director of Transportation. First and foremost, when they get on the bus, they're going to get some sanitization. They're going to get the hand sanitization. They're going to be assigned seating. There'll be also seating charts for the students on the bus. They'll also have to wear their mask while they're on the buses, as well as the bus drivers will be wearing masks as well. We're going to make sure that we have them seated as far apart as possible, and that's where transporting your own child, if you're able, will come in to play. Hoping to put just one student per row on our bus. Siblings, of course, could sit closer together. When feasible, we'll have the windows down so that there'll be some air circulating through the buses. Our buses will be sanitized between each route. Also, we're going to have them equipped with sanitization and cleaning supplies, so that we'll make sure that they're thoroughly clean between each route.
So our ultimate goal is to get our students back in class as soon as they can. We want them in class, and of course our parents have the choice to keep them home and learn virtually, and that's fine. So we have issued, Texas City ISD has issued an SOS to our community. Dr. Duarte, can you tell us a little bit more about what that SOS looks like?
Absolutely. So we are so excited to have this campaign. SOS for us is Save Our School Year. We want our students to come back to our classrooms. We want to be able to provide the services that they need to be successful. So we are asking our community, our families, our students, our staff to follow the CDC recommendations so that we are masking, we are social distancing, so we can see a decrease in the number of cases so that more students can enter our schools earlier. So maintain that SOS, save our school year, and do what's right for our community.
And of course, our county saw a big uptick in cases after Memorial Day. It was a holiday, the weather got nice, and people started congregating again. Well, now we have another holiday coming up with Labor Day, so we're really hoping everyone will keep that in mind, and we're sending out that SOS, and please don't party in large groups. We want everyone back in school as quickly as possible. So we are almost out of our allotted time, but is there anything that anybody wanted to say that I didn't specifically ask you about that you wanted to share?
Missy, I'd just like to clarify for parents that the teacher their children are assigned to for the first 3 weeks of virtual learning will be their teacher for the remainder of the school year. So if you have a virtual teacher and you choose face-to-face instruction when we open our doors in September, your virtual teacher will be the same teacher you will be receiving face-to-face instruction with. If you choose to continue to be a virtual learner, your teacher who was with you the first 3 weeks will continue with you during your virtual learning journey.
I would like to add one more thing. I want our community to know that we are committed to our students, and we've had a group of individuals working on our COVID-19 task force. We've had teachers, we've had parents, we've had principals, administrators, trying to answer all of these questions that we have and that come up as we develop these plans. The commitment, the time, the effort that this group has put into place has been extraordinary, and I just want to say I appreciate everything that they have done to communicate and facilitate this process for our parents.
Okay, well, we know that we did not answer every single question that you have today, but like I said earlier in our broadcast, that we are going to have future ones, and we will focus on other hot topics that everyone is questioning. And feel free, please, to continue to visit our www.tcisd.org/reopening, because we have a lot of details on that page. If you just go to our website, tcisd.org, you will find some links on the front that will take you directly to that reopening page. So thanks again for joining us. We look forward to visiting with you again virtually at our next town hall.